Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colores, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So no forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, who we go bring to una different guests dem wey they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then.
Alright, good morning and welcome to another edition of a program we call Colores right on we had na YouTube and on Facebook, so we can discuss the issues them where they come from the front page of the different newspaper them inside we country. Well, we don't come back today. Follow look at them different things there, and after I don't look at the front page them, I don't read them to now. We can come to we guest and now follow we look at the different issues them we come out for today. And we go straight inside the front page then follow we begin see waiting come up. And the first one we will take for this morning now the News Times Daily. The News Times Daily now the first paper where are the read to now this morning. And it get this banner headline we say, as she launches the SLPP campaign in Bombali district, Fatima Bio talk tough against election violence. First Lady receives APC chairman to SLPP. And following an unexpected visit to Koidu, a market by the First Lady, traders in Kono endorses President Bio no runoff bid. EU, ECOWAS, and the ECSL school media executive and editors on election reporting. This is another story for you inside this edition of the News Times Daily. The next one is Salon Times. We say SLPP promises free health for school-going children. You as well get Samuel Kamara promises to end poverty. 6th batch of Chinese military medical experts group bids farewell. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Salon Times. And the next one are the AZ newspaper, where say Bo City mayoral candidate and team host unity dinner. Taking SLPP manifesto to the people, Chief Minister assures a sounding victory for President Bio. RSLAF get first fellow chartered certified accountant. And you as well get 6 Chinese military medical experts group bids Sierra Leone farewell. IGR launches Sense BOD board app. This another story for you inside this edition of the AZ newspaper. The open space now the next paper with a deputy mayor Dent Yvonne Aki Sawyer. And he as well gets as it tells press and CSOs about 2023 manifesto. JJ Safari raises bar for President Bio re-election. Sorry, CKC people's ready to emulate their senior. This another story for inside the open space this morning. The Guardian Post and the next paper we say Prince Adin cocksure of SLPP victory, and APC supporters complain of massive intimidation. Petito paints Gambia red. President Bio promises to prioritize agriculture. SLPP mayoral candidate for Bo City, Koba Musa and team host unity dinner. And Renip engage international investors. Victor Four Diaz Epician. And Sierra Leoneans choose hope over fear. Life is unkind to men. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Guardian Post. The next paper for this morning, where we get inside the program, now the Salon Compass. We say, APC One Nation Manifesto promises brighter future for Salon. The shenanigan of ECSL. VP Julde Ailes Energy Ministry. This is another story for you inside this edition of the Saloon Compass. Premier News, government provides bulk of funds for June elections. And you as well get Gender Ministry, UNICEF launch, GBV Information Management System. Dr. Samra Kamara promises to uphold the rule of law. Police operations enhance. This another story inside the Premier News this morning. The Calabash newspaper say Gento remains popular and perturbed amidst false propaganda. And you as well get EU election observers mission deploys 28 long-term observers to 16 districts. And this another story for inside this edition of the Salon of the Calabash, with Dr. Samar Kamal unveiled 10-pillar anchored manifesto dubbed One Nation. We go to the next paper for this morning. Okay, so I think the paper and down there we get inside the program for you this morning. We'll take a very short break and then we'll come back just now.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Alright, welcome back, and you actually watch we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Inside the program today, we don't get two guests, then we don't join. We discuss the issues, then we don't come from the different newspaper them. And I will start with the one we will get for the very first time, and in name na Alhaji Saidu Kamara, and in media analyst. And same way, so they work for the Global Times newspaper. And don't join me inside the program for the very first time for let we discuss issues them we get for the different paper them we come out today. Good morning, Mr. Kamara, and welcome to We Are.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. I'll start with the first traditional question before I introduce the second guest. The traditional question we can get for person who attend the program for the very first time. The program in name na Kores, and we can ask, say, when na the last time when you eat Kores?
Well, almost I would say every day really eat good rest because every morning they will make sure that they want me rest before I can work.
Okay, so who's sauce when you like more when you eat Kores?
Well, I can look for it fried soup, granite soup, or cassava leaf, or tula soup.
So who's what we more prefer?
Well, I prefer the cassava leaf to the rest.
Oh, Salomon and Casadali.
I can tell you.
All right. So we actually can expect so you could prepare the cassava leaf and serve with this morning. Like we all enjoy the cassava leaf. So hold on, let's go to the next guest inside the program. In name now Edward Mara, they work for the Informant newspaper. Interestingly, Informant they online and you can check out the Informant newspaper as you get a lot of things that we actually they give you now every other day. Edward Mara and good morning and welcome again to Ancoles.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Sembe Pierre.
I don't know, because we not see you. You okay with that?
Yeah, now I dey get problem with my connection.
It's okay
and
that we get
everything,
your
but
voice
the
than
voice is okay.
we get picture
Yeah,
and then we not get your voice. So okay.
yeah.
All right. So we go on. We generally I want to ask this question first. You know, that the first paper where we get or the first thing where we see, they say the first lady talk tough against election violence. You know, that put the ball stone now. I'll start with you, Alhaji Saido Kamara. The first lady talk tough on against election violence. What do you take on this?
Well, I think say over the years, we can get general election. People don't involve on violence, intimidation, and so on and so forth. So this time around, the first lady, they talk for advice people, then refrain from them actively. The time for say we all are Salonians, everybody get right, or make you can explain to we the people and you understand. The manifesto which them plan for good to win. You understand? So therefore, we go right for encourage everybody. Nobody no get right for go stop forcing impostor, impostor. You understand? Because all that the result to violence. If for make hate speech or try for prevent somebody for letting no kind you understand? You say no, then you no go find
You know, I
violence.
love something where you just don't talk about just now. For avoid hate speech, for prevent somebody not for kaya. Now that you say exactly, auntie.
Exactly so.
Yeah, but now we dey talk about the first lady, we say they talk very tough against election violence. And all of them things that when you don't talk about, so we don't hear you don't dey talk about them. So one way or the other, instead guilty of that.
Well, I no get any information concerning about anything they need. Already are aware of that in the speech about the your area. You understand? But at the same time, they also advise in supporters them for being very mindful
Okay.
that when una they go out, you understand, everybody get for abide by the law. You understand? So this is Leonians, they right for encourage you come for get political tolerance, not for the talk hate speech, not for the pause. Let me talk today for can't tell people, you understand? But let me know attack nobody, you understand? And that's me, and that's at the time for explain to me. So that thing like that, say if you we say the first lady talk about violence, electoral violence. In fact, if one the youth them, say if any politician, right, we come for cancel and follow now go involve violence, you understand? They say, okay, well, no problem, we're ready for go say, but bring you picking back. You understand? They say by so do you will not say yes. Now that the one for them go say so then we for go lock una, then you picking, then they under. So and that's exactly the type for talking like that. I don't see from ladies campaigns that way they go from places
So
they really talk them to care. So
all right, so witness or any of the statement the way it go say we are not allow this person here or as well they talk about other things then.
No, not so much.
All right, Edward Mangala, bring you inside quickly. You know, the first lady, they talk tough against election violence. What do you make up of this?
Well, in the first place, that the responsibility of every Sierra Leonean for make sure say peace prevail, before, during, and even after the elections. We get a responsibility as Sierra Leoneans therefore make sure say we uphold the peace and maintain the peace so that at the end of the day, this country will continue for work together in harmony and development will come because in any environment or any community or any country, we say peace not the obviously development not will take place. Coming back to the first lady, you see, this is the high time where as a country, politicians then get for be honest to the people of this country. They have to be honest.
How they for be honest and why you say so?
When I say first lady talk tough, on violence. This are the first lady we go Kailan where tell the people in a Kailan say let not allow a particular political party for go Kailan for go campaign there. And that kind of statement, which they directly they tell the people you tell the people and say if that party can they wanna attack them. So this is political dishonesty. Now these are some of the things where some of we are against. Where politicians then always want for play on the intelligence of Sierra Leoneans. For some of us, nobody can play on our intelligence because every public statement you make, as long as you're a government functionary, you're a public officials, then it's a public statement and it's a policy statement. So in that regard, when it don't say so in one part of the country, that they should go against a particular political party if they go there for go campaign, they go back into another part of the country, they say therefore uphold peace, therefore maintain, therefore make sure say this, they promote non-violence. It means she's just contradicting herself. Is it because when you go to certain part of the country, you get a certain message we want for communicate to them people and they. And when you want to go into the northern part of the country, get a specific message you want for continue for communicate to that part of the country. There is inconsistency here. We talk comes about the statement the way the first lady they make. They are very inconsistent. Today, we will talk about say, wanna continue for maintain peace, wanna continue for maintain peaceful election. In other part of the country, it will say contrary to what he talk on the other side. So in my view, in all of this, consistency is very important. And as political leaders of our country, then get a responsibility for unite the people at every given time. Not to go to the other side of the country, you incite the people. They go to the other side of the country, you try for tell the people and say, therefore, uphold peace, therefore promote non-violence. Basically, I'm not here to just for try for say that what you say is wrong, but I'm merely telling the first lady that I get for be consistent, I get for be kumbra. If you talk to Mr. A, now the other part of the country for maintain peace, during the elections. And for make sure say they're not going to violence, and then when you go to the other part of the country, you have to take the same message home.
All right.
Rather than going to the other side and inciting the people and say if they can now, wanna not allow them, wanna do them this. Then the other side, you want for talk there like Kumbra.
Okay.
So as Kumbra of the nation, she has to be consistent.
All right.
And when we talk about peace,
yes,
peace is a process, not a one-day event.
Okay.
It therefore be continuous and ongoing.
All right. Like how it, for the sake of fairness, I go on for the sailor will get by timer, so everybody will get the fair bite, making the point, yeah. So I'll start and write from this minute. I go over to you, Mr. Kamara. The issue of you waiting, Edward don't talk. Just if you get anything for add to that one day before I begin the timer properly.
Loud and clear, yes. I agree with them. What I can just say, everybody gets rights as Sierra Leonean. we'll make sure that this election will be very peaceful, right? And now waiting na your view, you are as well as journalists, na your view. And all the talk so Friday in place. Only yes, so the first lady did, but as far as me concerned, and which me don't say you understand what I mean, and that's me know.
Okay.
Instead of getting your guys something, and then video instead of and also you understand for the time for being very consistent because we all get right for making sure that this election come out very successful. If I allow everybody to go now, every part of the country go for go campaign, then you explain your message, right? Not to go make violence or neither if you defend somebody, another you will talk there, eat speech, or you go call somebody. No. People for go explain about the manifesto. Tell the people which you want, which you are there for can go for govern we back so that they can get for give the mandate. But not for anything we go contrary, we not go make get peace.
Okay. So going now, I'll start the timer now, and I want to follow we go into the issue of the manifesto then. You know, the two political party the manifesto we don't see. The one the name the People's Manifesto, and the other one One Nation, right? And I hope I get it right. So now going forward, you know, I'll start with you Global Times. Global Times basically most of the story them way on the carry they for make people understand the work where the government to do. True or false?
Sure.
Correct. So in other words, then they propagate the message of the government for letting people understand what they happen within the government.
Right.
Okay, so now let me go into this and I'll ask you this. Between the APC and the SLPP manifesto, which one you think say stand a better chance for settle the problem of Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans? In 5 minutes you get that for do.
They also stand a better chance, right? Because every one of them they try to let themselves for candidate salon.
Okay.
But looking at all two, and then you watch the manifesto, the launch, you understand it, you see say yes. The SLPP manifesto it comprises of about 120 pages. Then go through the details about how they want to come against the issue. You understand? Try for bring back the economy. Try for engaging. Right now, they don't decide for embark on culture because we talk about food on the table. It is only when you address on these food security, food productivity, definitely we'll be able to achieve that. Because by so doing, we will engage in agriculture, definitely they encourage a lot of things that people there on the process for make food and so on and so forth.
So the issue of, you know, the first pillar inside the manifesto, you know, pillars, then 5 pillars, you know, where they say the game changer, the food for feed salon, that's what they call it, feed salon. How realistic you feel say that be? Taking into consideration the last 5 years, then not they put some emphasis on the tomabom and other agricultural products, but interestingly, well, we don't know, maybe you don't see, but we not see much of them things and they will not see any of them things and they don't be productive.
Well, to be very frank, then thing they are on the process, and very soon people in the forecast see the realization.
If I can remember the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Sidom na 98.11, they tell me say by 2023, the tomabom go don't produce a lot of rice where people go don't eat. But till now, I not see one bag yet.
Well, so maybe they get some challenges. But very soon that get for into reality because they try to put everything in place. And also the president, His Excellency, the president, retired Brigadier Julius Mother, you don't put something agenda for sales. Come this second time for the people again, the mandate definitely they get for work with that, you understand. That's for be one of the major flagship program, but try for make sure that we get food security and this continue so that they go back on agriculture. See? So now that's good for happen.
Okay, so you still get the time of 5 minutes and you just don't use 2 minutes. Now on the area, we listen to the chief minister, you know, I think on the same 98.1, they ask Salon people and say, please, when I give you 3 months, when I just give you second term and in 3 months, we could fix the economy. But I don't know, you rightly remember say, in 2018, this same man asked Salon people and for give them the chance for rule, and then in 6 months they go fix the economy. So now the question is, if you can't fix the economy in 6 months, you go able to fix that in 3 months. As a journalist, you know, where they actually portray what in the government they do, how visible on see the statement from the chief minister. How you go couch that particular thing there?
Now, you see, to be very frank with you, for try for change the economy, you get a process.
Okay.
And maybe say, you know, we just get for do and one time because you get certain law, you get for in that process. You get for involve the legislature, you get for involve parliament, or you get for change certain laws the way you feel see it hinder or it hampers on developmental project. You understand? So going towards that, you get for do some certain adjustments. So you get for take some time. So me look at like I say, yes, 3 months not going to look very effective. You understand? Maybe in get ways, I mean, but generally, as we they look as a journalist, one for try for fix an economy, they don't get a lot of challenges. You know, we're therefore get them very effectively within that 3 months. All you need for do, maybe you go for put things in place. You understand? Where maybe after that 3 months, you will see something positively, or within 3 months, for let's just say, you could turn around. So once a one, yes, you are. I mean, to me, from my own view, you will find it very difficult. Yes, but
So
normally,
if I can ask you, you don't talk about the SLPP. We don't talk about them more. In just the remaining minutes, what do you think about the APC manifesto? You think say they own because they're not calling promises, they say commitment. You think say they own commitment unrealistic if nothing were visible, nothing were then going for implement and going for do.
well, it depends. You understand? You know, say as politicians, you just get for talk for them, get for win the people. But actually, look at all of them things and watch about the economic background. I'm not say them were able to be very frank with you. Look at how the economy done. They look at how the things are not for the. They get for take some time for change. For instance, look the dollar just they go up. You understand? Food very expensive. You understand? So all of these, will be one time. You understand?
10 more seconds. Yeah.
Effort so let we all come together and see how best how to address this issue. And it therefore involve all Sierra Leoneans,
All right.
but the government of the day for take the lead.
All right, thank you very much. I'll go over to Edward Mara. Edward Mara, you don't watch the two, pillars them. APC count 10 pillars, SLPP count 5 pillars. When you look at them two manifesto pillars there, so which one you feel say go able for settle the problem of Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans? 5 minutes.
Well, first of all, let we understand the concept of these manifestos in a country wherein 70% of the people are illiterate, and some of them don't even know what a manifesto. So now, may you not get time this morning with this, we talk about manifesto. But in the general sense, when people don't talk about manifesto in this country, then they look at the color, the red and the green. So as long as you are green, they will vote for you. As long as you belong to the SLPP, whether their manifesto, you don't even need to talk about the manifesto because your loyalty is to the color. If you're in the APC, they say the loyalty is to the color. So that Mamina Kurbola and Migrani self with the culture right now, when they even know self have for his phone, they tell a manifesto, they don't want to go vote. They don't even care about that. They get for go vote based on color. So it's a problem. We therefore continue for battle waiting in every elections. And then it's sad that even as media practitioners then at this country, we don't even have time for look at the manifestos then they sit down and critique their manifestos then they of all the political parties the way they not contest. And also for make a follow-up with the governments of whichever government win, for hold them accountable. Let's look at 2018 manifesto, and I will not go back to the 2018 APC manifesto because they lost the election, and the SLPP win the election, and we see the SLPP elections. We talk about the chief minister where he has been in the central, played the central role of everything within the SLPP. The last time he was a campaign manager or so for the SLPP, and then he was on 98.1 in one of his radio interview that if the SLPP win in 6 months, they will fix the economy. And then it was a policy statement, and he talked out all authority. The SLPP eventually win, And this was the man that went to the 98.1 and said that 6 months he will fix the economy. He was given the opportunity now to fix the economy. And so he was appointed by President Bio. President Bio is not an economist. He got no idea about economy. So he rely on people that he appoints, to carry out their responsibility. This man was at the Minister of Finance for almost 3 years. He did nothing.
So I've been listening to a lot of people, and when they tell me, say, okay, this government not able for succeed in the economy and other things, then because of the battered economy where they meet up, because of the corruption where the last government, because of the austerity, all of them things are responsible for all this right now.
My brother, listen. Let me come to this point now. This man was given the opportunity with all what he don't say so, with all what he don't say so. This man, I'm sure, as an economist, if you don't look at all of them possibilities, then they look at the circumstance, the economic circumstances at that time. But he still went ahead, say, in 6 months they will fix the economy. So that is a contract. It's a contract. The moment you use that as a policy, it automatically becomes a contract between you and the people. So whether the previous economy was battered, whether the previous economy was full of corruption and all that, but this man, he is saying that 6 months he will fix the economy. So he was given the opportunity to fix the economy. Between you and I, you tell me today whether JJ Safa fixed the economy or not.
But now we ask for another 3 months.
2 years later, this was the same man where go now then go interview. He said no government no go able for fix the economy of this country in 6 months. You see the political dishonesty.
30 more seconds.
That now, this was a man now after the launch of a new manifesto for the coming election. This is the very JJ Safa now, or JJ Blood, as they call him. Now don't go back now to the media. They don't tell the media say that when they come back, they will fix the economy in 3 months. In 3 months.
All right.
The man said he will fix in 6 months. He was given the opportunity for fixing in 6 months. He not fix that. He come back to the people and tell the people and say, no government will fix the economy in 6 months. And now, because they are going to election now, this is now the same man back who don't can say in the fix the economy in 3 months.
Right.
Come on.
Common
sense, common sense. You see, I feel sorry for this country because when you have a bunch of dishonest politicians around the presidency,
right.
They feel sorry for this country.
Okay, thank you very much, Edward. You said to use another 5 minutes.
Yeah, if this man will say so, believe in me, I tell you, say our politics is getting nasty every day, because if we politicians are not honest to themselves, to the country and the people, then I'm afraid for this country.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's touch on the issue of youth employment and job creation. The APC manifesto say then go provide what they call living wage. That is to say, thing where they're going for pay you at the end of the month, and then you're able for take care of your family, and you're able for pay you rent and other things then. Whereas SLPP say they will provide 500,000 job for the people, for youth them inside the country. So let's look at them two things there. So how them two things there, they really, you feel say they're realistic. Now you think say that things then this way they were able for implement and go for put it in place based on the two things that will come from the two different presidential candidates then. Edward, I'll start with you again, 5 minutes.
I don't look at both manifesto. Many of the things that were the two political parties they state in the manifesto, 80% of them, they are not realistic. These are printed words, colorful words, just for attract votes. I can tell you, where is the 1 million job? Where is the 1.5 million job for the youth? You see, I can say we get for be very careful. This is a very crucial moment for our country. This is a defining moment for our country. If we not begin to run now and look at politicians, the way they make certain statements, you as an individual, as a journalist, I'm a critical thinker. As I sit here, I'm a critical thinker. I don't just you know, listen to people, you say something and I conclude on that. I have to go back and think critically. Well, is this thing realistic? That what this man they say, is it realistic? You see, some people say this. All of them tell when they say so. Look at the job. We are talking about job creation for the young people. You know, 60% of our population is youthful age, is youth. They are unemployed. And when that happens in any country, the country will be on time bomb. Because the youth are the bulk force, are the workforce of the country. Currently, we have mass unemployment of young people. If you say you want to create job for the young people, be realistic. What's in the avenue where you want for you? I can challenge anybody here. There is no government in the world where you create employment for its citizens across the board. It's not possible. All what is required of you now for create an enabling environment, attract private sector investment, you know, where they will come in and create the job. They are the ones providing the job. They are the ones creating the job. What you do as government is to put together policies that will attract private sector investment into the country. Now, policy government for the focus on. You see, now that's what people are able to understand up to this moment. When politicians go jump all over, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. No, that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility as government is policies. Put the right framework, put the right policies in place. The policies that they inform, you know, the things the way you want for achieve at the end of the day. If you put a good policy where they attract investors into the country, what will happen? The investor will come, they will create job, and at the end of the day, the citizens will be employed and will get job. But how many jobs even at the table of government where they provide? The highest civil service where they provide job is about 80,000. What is 80,000 job when you get a population over 8 million, almost 8 million now, 8 million people? Take the 8,000 job. Then the president as an individual get 3,000 jobs where they are in discretion. If you add that, there is about 110,000.
But the president, for example, might be very much confident, say, for example, provide for just one region, for one district, for example, Potloko, 50 factories where you employ a lot of people. So if you don't calculate 50 factories in Potloko, it means say you times that out to all the districts, then of course, then going for provide the 500,000 job.
You are a Sierra Leonean. You just left the country. You are there, you follow every way across the country. I'm not here to challenge any political party's manifesto, but I'm looking at the practicality and the reality.
And now that make I ask you the question based on what they say.
I'm sending back the question to you. Is that realistic?
Right.
Let us discuss now. Is that realistic?
Okay, so interestingly, you get more 15 seconds for going. So complete the thing. I will send that thing over again.
Yeah. So in my own view, in all of this, as a Sierra Leonean, all what I'm saying, let us be honest to ourselves. Let the politicians let them be honest for at once to the people. Things that you think they are not realistic, don't say them. Don't put them on document. You know very well that these things are not realistic. You understand? I look at the same APC manifesto, job creation, and all that. You understand? Somebody they say we price control. A government is telling me that when they come, they will make sure say they control the price, which is not possible. We operate on a liberal economy, wherein when I go buy, now so I get for cancel, for the profit on top.
All right. Okay.
So how can you control my own price? When me to go buy? Why would I go buy? What?
All right.
The aim of a business is to maximize profit, not to so.
Yeah.
So if me go buy, I don't go buy and I don't counter. You the government can't tell me how for sell.
All right. Thank you very much, Edward.
So when a dishonest politician they tell you say then we can put the price of goods and commodities down at the country, it's misleading.
You know, that just remind me, you know, of something. I will add the time again for Alhaji Saidu, but I will ask you this, and I will just give 2 minutes for handle this one. in 2018 campaign, 17-18, Marabi Hotel, we say the last government left us 200,000, and then, SLPP left the rest 60,000, and the last government can left at 200,000. He said the people on town for buy the rest that kind amount of price there. So the people want change because Ingo can settle that problem there. But now the rest don't go up. You don't pass 600 to go to 700,000. In some cases, it depends on the kind of rest you want. But I listen to them after the August 10, problem. I listen to them where he say, if we expect for let the Chinese man then don't plant the rest and then they can determine how the price for day. But I begin for wonder if you been think about this before the time when you go to the debate. We make now you talk about that today. What do you make up of this since you talk about price control?
Well, now the thing and what I've been telling you, say, we are sick as a country, where we talk about governance. They say, you see, governance, for some of us who don't do some form of governance, at university level, some of the way politicians then talk, I barely don't listen to them. But when somebody talk from the policy informed point of view, then I will listen to that person there. You understand? I tell you, the issue of food in this country, I'd say no government, and I would like to be on record in this, and I've said.
And you're on record already, yeah.
Yes, whether na APC or na SLPP, nobody will address the issue of food in this country.
So according to the APC, the manifesto, according to the MEC, then go able for change that one day. That system of importing, then go change and then go be good to import and export. Where that they will help them seriously.
Pakaba said that in 2005 that by 2007 no Sri Lankans should go to bed hungry. You understand? He brought in tractors where they donate from the Libyan government. At the end of the day, we shall be finding tractors then the homes of politicians. They don't get to the right beneficiaries. The same thing happened in the APC era. Dr. Shamsise was all over the place. They brought in tractors. Who said at the end of the same thing is happening? I'm telling you, government cannot provide, and that is the truth. The only solution to our food crisis in the country lies in the hands of the private sector. What the government they do now for just make sure say they encourage private sector investment. You understand? That's what I'm talking about, policies.
Yeah, but now that's exactly Samuel Kamara say.
When I come, I will develop a policy that the investor will come. I will provide the land, and then the investor will go able to do the farming work. And when he harvests, so amount, therefore be selling at the country.
Thank you very much.
And so percent therefore coming. So if they say that way, now government will go make farm. Do we have any state farm in this country?
Thank you.
The time about what they talk about, what you don't produce.
All right, so look over to you, Alhaji Saido. If you called all the time together, Edward spent 7 minutes with the two sets of questions. Then, let's come over to you again. What do you think about this issue of the employment? The APC say they want for provide what they call living wage. Whereas person will work, you get salary, we're going for take care of your family. ASLPP say they will provide 500,000 job. Look at the two statements them. The one saying a promise, the one saying a commitment. You think say they're realistic?
Thank you very much, Senator Pierre. Now, first of all, the issue of youth employment, that's a perennial issue where successive government don't try for address and up to now, no see ways and means. Yet still, government is still a battle to see that they address this issue. Of course, most of the youths they do not get the required qualification for meet their job criteria the day. You can recall in the days of the APC when they get this mining company, Africa Mineral, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, the youths them will not be able to get the job then because they are not skilled on that particular job. As and therefore being people and from neighboring countries like Ghanaians, we will come for filling the gap in the. So for address the issue then in the first place, government therefore creates the enable environment for make sure that number one, then create institutions them we then get for land, youth them, not so everybody get for afford for going at the university or maybe not get the university requirements. Therefore, then for set up vocational training institutes we did now, but then for try for improve upon them, you understand? So that they get for learn and train their youth there so. Because everybody forgets something, we for be very skillful, we go help and we go make a self-reliance. I think so that are the main focus standing as a government. And that's exactly the SLPP manifesto, the job when they say, and for greatest job, you know me saying I want they will get all our 500,000. You understand? If you watch him, we watch the manifesto, then talk say within that 5 years and they say that 5 years and we don't get into them because one, then they look for first of all, maybe train them people and they force. You just go take a job when you notice, you know, that they require qualification. So then get for embark on so institutions them. We don't already exist, or they can improve them back or then build another one so that they will get the requisite requirements. So they get for train them on employee so that at the end of the day, they go forget job. So, or they forget job, will make them self-reliance. You cannot to government or any other institution, but you for it your job upon self based upon the qualification we say don't do this and that. Now that's then they try for talk about. Now talking about the cost of living, you understand? Let person get the required wage. You will find it very difficult in our country when you watch the present trend of our economy. I think say this for forget about politics. It concerns every Sierra Leoneans because we say self with so we feel the pinch. Some of we colleague the whole go school, some of we colleague the whole colleges, some of we colleague the whole friends. Where we all in at the Jama or all in at the same church, you understand? All the work at times he can't meet me for help. So you know, say yes, things are very difficult, not easy. But how therefore address this issue? We know say yes, now global issue that we're very worrisome. But now the responsibility of government for many for try for create a enable environment for how best way for address this issue for tackle this dollarization we don't also very rampant. To the point now, $100 they go close to 2 million, close to 500,000. Can you imagine? That is a huge sum of money. You understand? In fact, not to every Sierra Leonean in the period, a good number of Sierra Leoneans they get that money per month. How you want to expect that particular individual? You understand? For them survive, pay house rent, provide food, take medication. So these are the issues we want them for address in respect of politics. You see, and that is where I agree with my colleague when said they talk and the right thing that they not just talk but try for implement most of the things where the both political parties are all right for try for implement them. Definitely if they implement them all, anyone part of is successful. If they for implement it and not for just talk and so nobody implement them, definitely if for change around situation, you know, will be one time, but if they change all enter they don't write and then they manifest to them work with that, definitely I think say situation not for be the same again. Because as we speak, a lot of people are suffering. You understand? We want let people get hope. You understand? We don't know says they get a hope future for them picking them to Bambai for CS. They picking most rich university. You understand? They picking most get for that a decent life. But if you don't create all the enable environments, you find them very difficult for them to achieve all the achievement in the. And one way for them for achievement in the very important, government for take the lead. How? For create the enable environment. Government as an institution not be able for take that lead. You know, says government and all governments and they get the highest number of employment. But for you not be able to do everything. Okay, you get a vast number of people and we not get job. So one way for it and for create enable environment, that's why they pray for get peace and stability in the country. Because when you get peace and stability, investors them we get a lot of money in other part of the world, in the west, and we say, okay, let's come over here, and can invest the money, you understand? But if we don't get peace and stability, and we find them very difficult. And also for create that enable environment, we for encourage people, not for come for make them really then self not going for kind investor because as soon as they come, we get a lot of tax system.
Okay, so like come inside quickly, not all for disturb, but if you can watch the camera, then because when the camera they play too much, it is show you other things the way in okay. So just watch the camera so we go able for get the camera steady, please.
Yeah. So as I'm trying for say,
thank you.
This is the issue we would for try for address. It's very important, you understand, for long try for move this nation forward. Like I don't tell you inter earlier, then to manifesto also. If anyone can be successful, you understand, we succeed or form the next government, they aim for implement, waiting and write down panel book that they implement them to the latter. Definitely, you get foresee some changes or change around the economy and see how the country therefore move forward. But you don't see in the past, you understand, both success government, where they can talk something, not be able for implement them. Up to the first studies, you understand. A lot of them then you don't talk fine one for saying when I come in, that's why I get for candle, but you find them very difficult for many.
Right. Okay, the internet's not all I'm there. Fortunately, not reaching time, so we can go now to something different. We not get better time again. We get like 10 more minutes for go inside the 1 hour. Edward, we see, Calabash newspaper get this thing of the EU. For long time, people are not they call it international community. Now the EU don't observe our mission, don't deploy 28 long-term observers them. Now the 16 districts and now they don't go all over, because what we find out when the campaign begin, we see like different side and they where they attack people them when are they own time for campaign. Even yesterday, well, that day we never know waiting at the real cost to that, but we'll see also the light fire na Dana Konomani, one of the hosts na Kono, so waiting na the impact if you say the EU observer them will create na the districts them.
Well, you see, this issue of EU, a lot of noise don't be make around this EU and the observers there all man they can say, oh EU, they can't win this election, or EU. These are the kind of misinformation and disinformation and the dishonesty where the politicians they spread across the country, to the electorate there. Because at the end of the day, they want, when the election will come to their favor, they say, oh, now the white man there. Now they make not win.
Yes.
Now the white man and do this. And see, we get to know the EU missioner, they get a very defined, clear rule. Not to EU, they can vote now this election. Not to EU get for make SLPP win or APC win. The destiny of this country lies in the hands of the voters, the one the way they go register in the last registration, they don't get the ID card, now they get to go vote for determine who that they want for govern this country.
Correct.
The responsibility of the EU as part of the development partners and as part of the international community now for come and observe the election or for make sure say the election is being held in the transparent manner, in the free manner, and then the people then be allowed there, then go vote freely. Nobody not cross them. Nobody not attack them. Nobody not threaten them. These are some of the things they would be observing. And we said the things, say, necessarily the mandates now, they are now doing more 2 mandates. They monitor, they observe, they monitor. You understand? So their deployment across the country is just to help to complement the effort of the government and people of Sierra Leone, particularly so the democratic institutions of NEC and the PPRC, for let them able to conduct a free and fair election.
So they don't
That's
make
all.
it very clear, say they don't come for kind interfere upon the election, but rather they go watch what in the happen at the end of the day and give the reports. That's all.
This is what I'm saying. But some maybe I know something in this country, it can just want for give up on the country because of the kind way the politicians that are this country they behave. Right now they don't poison so electorate their mind that some of the even the choose self now not for vote again, because then you think say now EU no more for can take the ballot paper and vote and at the end of the day they announce Mr. Ace and I don't win. So because of the literacy now we country, we're not able to analyze them, we're not able to come out, and because of the politicians, them 80% of them they are not honest, they are dishonest. and then they play on the intelligence of the people, and then they play on the mindset. Say, now EU, now EU. In fact, when EU don't cancel, no, they can't win. When EU don't cancel, they can't win. ECOWAS election monetary observer mission, EU observer mission, AU get for coming, Mano River, all of these we bilateral partners. Believe in me, the role now is very minimal. So all what me can say, their presence in the country is welcome, and they have deployed, and I don't see them in many of the areas the way campaign they go on. I don't see them presence, and I think say they are doing a job that they are here to do. But I can also tell you, and I want for just tell the Sierra Leoneans people that this election lies in our hands. It is not in the hands of the EU. It is not in the hands of any observers the way that they come. But us as Sierra Leoneans, us that registered for the last registration, us that have got our ID card, now we get for go on the 24th of this month and cast our vote of a president that we think and we want for govern us for another 5 years. That is all. So as a citizen, this is the opportunity you have for at once in 5 years for make a change that you want. You miss this, you have to wait back for another 5 years. Emma tell you with all of this threat around, the man say if we not win, what will come, this and that. No. We are not going to go to that line anymore. Sierra Leone, we don't get multi-party democracy. We don't start up from 1996. Despite the challenges, we are making progress. All what is important now, the citizens of this country have been given the opportunity by the constitution at every 5 years for go and elect their own leadership, both parliamentary and presidential, and also at local council level of councillors and district chairmen and mayors of cities. So what is required of we? Let us exercise that right that the constitution have given us, and let we go and do that with responsibility, because violence will not pay in this election. Threat will not pay. What they got fine of intimidation in order for work in this election. And I also sympathize with Madam Diana Konomani. She's not my friend, and I don't even choose to be a friend. But the reality is, as a country, we get to put this kind of things behind us. We are above this now. We begin think above this level now. If we may not share the same political views, it don't mean say we are enemy. It don't mean say we should see ourselves as enemy. It don't mean say if we go mobilize, if we go inside, if we go to a point that if we go burn next man in your house. This is undone. And these are some of the things we keep on telling politicians. What did happen? So an investor wants to come to this country after election. They don't begin see, they don't begin burn oaths. They don't begin see some of the things the way they happen for this election. They will prefer for keeping a small portfolio not to come and invest. And even when doing this 5 years period, when will be the tell the politicians that all of this violence will be to go riots, there will be the killings, there will be to go on this and that. Some of us, we are coming out, we are condemning some of these things, say, no good picking for this country, because at the end of the day, you scare away the investors of coming. Now the world is a global village now. If me right now, I Google as an investor, I want to go to a loan. Then I waiting come before me this morning. Oh, the number a politician house
because of election.
Because of election. Do you think I will even give a second thought of coming back? No. And in all of this, the government institutions, the police, the military, as particularly so the police, that is charged with the constitutional responsibility of maintaining law and order, internal peace and security. Believe in me, the IG get for step up in protecting the citizens of this country. The police has a responsibility for protect the citizens of this country. And above all, every individual that is within the confinement of the Republic of Sierra Leone, within the territory of the Republic of Sierra Leone, whether it's a foreigner or not, the police get the responsibility for protect lives and properties. What is that happens so is bad for our country, it's bad for our image, and the police will step up with their investigation for investigate some of these things where they happen. Otherwise, this country will continue to suffer because no serious investor will come to invest in this kind of environment. Even if we go into the election is over, as long as we continue to get record of them kind of violence they are, that kind of intimidations they are, that kind of asking all of them tell what happens to. These are very serious crimes where no serious investor will come and invest. So my own appeal is to the citizen. We have the responsibility now. Make use of your ballot papers you've got, your ID card you've got. You go that day, go to the next officers, let them give you your ballot. Vote for the candidate of your choice. Go and vote and go back to your house and sit quietly and wait for the announcement of the election. But if we think, say, we will go back to war because somebody thinks that in party no win, or somebody thinks that in candidate don't win, or somebody thinks that because me and Edonma they share the same political view, that Edonma is my enemy or Sembabia is my enemy, then we are not making progress. Sembabia, some of now, you've seen the life in Europe, you've seen the life in the States. The thing is, they only have their country at heart. That's the only difference. The America, they say, in God we trust. And when they go into election, after election, they say America first. You see, after election, they are done with all of the nonsense now, the alala and the statements and all that. They go back to work to develop their own country. In our own country, it's sad that every given opportunity we get in this country, we go back for undermine ourselves, it destroyed institutions. And at the end of the day, the very institutions then, who they rely on, and then they can't again and they deceive we because of politics. That's what I keep on saying. The last hope of this country in the security sector. If the security sector should be depoliticized, politicians should keep away from the security sector. Some of these days, somebody brought to my attention was some of the police personnel that they wear party color uniform, party polo. The
police uniform with party cap and all.
Yes, you understand. Is that professionalism? Is that the kind of police force we want for our country? Is that the kind of security forces we want for our country? Really sad and painful. And sometimes,
and interestingly, I see one video, where they seen a Jala when the policeman team up. I don't know if he conscious or he not conscious in the video. People in the tell and say they do something very wrong because he ain't competent get and they beat one person. It's not they tell and say that they need power.
Well, that's how they tell you. Now that's how they tell you. If a military personnel, they can publicly, with videos, you understand? It agitate for a particular political party. This is on the 21st century. It's undone. You are being paid with taxpayers' money. You are trained to protect the territorial integrity of this country and the citizens of this country. Then you are going against the very citizen. You are killing the very citizen. And so which way would they go? All of that because when it comes about even recruitment now into the public sector, particularly the public sector, they find out say you have to have a political backing, a political connection. And particularly so the security sector, when you recruit a personnel with the understanding that Nami party, I get this job. You forget your professionalism, what you don't go train you, the ethics. Then who are you serving? Are you serving Sierra Leone or you are serving a political party?
Of course, we all know say most of them they serve them political party. Then thank you very much, Edward, for joining me inside the program today. And we're very grateful for always they get you for give your own independent analysis on different issues. Them unfortunately, Alaji Saido Kamara don't drop out. I think I'm noticing at the connection problem. And in the work for Global Times, well, I see a lot of things. Global Times now one of the paper then when they propagate the work of the government. In other words, they try for portray the good image of the government at every point in time. Edward Mara there with we. You can search for Edward Mara in paper online. We na www.theinformant. What I say DTHE, as you can see on the screen, theinformantsl.com. You can get a lot of things them where they actually get now the paper. This paper, I must confess, is very rich in terms of content, and you're not going to regret for making time inside that particular website today. So Edward, thank you very much for you joining inside the program, and we appreciate your time. God bless you and get yourself a good day.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much, and God bless you, Leon.
All right. And name now Edward Mara, where they work for the Informant newspaper. So you can check on them online for you able to get, waiting, then they publish like every day. Commentary and other several things them way then get and then paper then get development news, editorial and commentary, opinion and perspectives. You get political dreams, you get tourism and culture, international news brief, and media and society, gender, a lot of issues them win in the cover, and the paper is really rich, I must confess, and please go there and you go able to get a wonderful time in that paper day. Well, you either watch the program, okay? Thank you very much for where you join me. We know the search for okay. Thank you for where you join me inside the program, today. I think say something in the if I let you listen to very independent voices them, now two different people then when they talk about. So Alhaji Saidu, now the first man way, of course, as you like I tell you, they propagate the work of the SLPP government. Edward Mara, they give independent point of view. This now how I be used for them before this time, when I practice as a full-time journalist, and this now the kind of critical views that we actually need in the politics. We need for look politicians then at their face and tell us say you manifesto na rubbish. Get nothing. Always you talk now for just kind of power, they for do nothing. This is not what we want. My name is the freedom fighter. God bless we country Sierra Leone, where we call Uyard. And thank you for you who don't watch, thanks for you who don't share, and to you as well, we don't make sure say you like and subscribe to the channel. All right, I want for reply to now. I see comment the like reply to now quick one. G4, Aggie, I can remember a few times that this same man when they talk so. Don't sit down there. Una very much comfortable to have analyze the issues them. And una praise them. This not good man. Even one time every other time, on several issues them. But today because it touch una, na say una no ale touch. Una don't say like for saying no objective. This na how the profession talk. Sometimes they not anything you want for hearing the person they talk. You get for listen and then you see how best they put things them in place. Yeah? So like I can always tell you now, we need for the open with mind and see something. Now for tomorrow, will say right now, we know they see certain things then. We know they see certain things then because maybe we favor this party, we favor these politicians, we favor this. But if we open with mind, we see the reality. And me, honestly, I trust the independent analysis of this guy. And some of them are not going for see because now the first time is maybe for them sit down and hear they talk. But some of them don't actually listen and don't praise them before this time. Anyway, until then, my name is the freedom fighter. I love all family members. Something can really love somebody, something they really love somebody based on how the person put the things there. Even me say self sit down now. Something they don't like the other, and they do things something they don't like the other. But that I make this family very much unique. That make the family very much unique. But we love una so much, okay? And I keep the fire burning. This now we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Catch up with you again. Nanette is. Okay, well, okay. I give the ask for Martha and Showers. I will tell you something. If una don't praise Edward Mara before this time, yeah, una don't praise her. Now so back the time when Martha or Showers go touch una, una no one for them touch una go say na born. And I go tell you back say they don't give them brown envelope. Anyway, we love una so much. Okay, catch una again and it.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how music again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala na we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call colors as we dey look at